How do you expect to break cycles when you are thinking and operating from a fragmented perspective? So, for example, the lunar cycle is 29.53 days, right? And the solar cycle is 365.2422 days, right? The Earth cycle is 24 hours. Now, how are you going to fix a problem that you've had for 4 years in 24 hours? How are you going to fix a problem that you've had for a month or 29.53 days, I don't know, in 5 minutes? You're not. So with that being stated, you're trying to solve your problems thinking in days, and you need to be thinking in cycles. These cycles of time have happened over time. A lot of it in childhood, let's say preteen, teenhood, and let's just say young adulthood. People that commit adultery between the ages of 13 and 17, between that time frame, give or take, that's when they develop that they're going to be an adulterous person. Based off of what they experienced, saw, however they developed, whatever they've been through, and all of that was determined back then. So you get with a 50-year-old man or a 30-year-old woman, and she cheats on you or he cheats on you, that happened and developed way before you got there. What I'm saying is they were going to do it anyway. That determination was made years before you got there. You're not going to be able to love them enough. You're not going to be able to encourage them enough. You can't love them through hell. And you don't go to hell trying to get to heaven. So you've got this hell-bound person in your life. You guys are 50, 40, 30, whatever years old. But when they were in their teens, this was already predetermined based off the experiences that they already had. So how many days do you think you have to fix this? You don't. You don't have any days. So what you need to be thinking is how many cycles is it going to take to break that cycle and create a new cycle? Now, in order to break this cycle or these cycles that have come in your life, maybe it's a cycle of poverty, a cycle of you not remembering stuff, a cycle of you not eating healthy, a cycle of you having wrongful friends or wrongful relationships. I went through a cycle where I felt like I got in a wreck every time I turned around, or somebody in my vehicle was wrecking my car every time I turned around. This cycle lasted for I want to say a decade or something like that. How the hell am I going to break that in a 24-hour period? How am I going to break something that's been going on since I was 15 years old? How am I going to break it in 1,440 minutes? How am I going to break something that's been going on for 1,000,000 seconds in my life in 86,000 seconds, aka a day? How? It's just not going to happen. So we're living this day by day thing, and it's harming certain people, not all people. But if you're living day by day and you have a bunch of cycles that are interrupting you, and maybe you're in a cycle of where you're in a great business, you got a great idea, but you're doing it all yourself and you don't have a team of people, you don't know how to employ AI, you don't know what to do next, and you're doing everything because you do it best and nobody can do it like you, and people don't care like you do because now you have control issues and you're an anxiety freak and you've got to have power and control and a say-so and all of that stuff, and you got all that going on. That was developed over years. That's not going to break in a day. You want a man who has entered into 65 females over the last 90 days. He comes into your life and you want him to be husband ready. You want a woman who sleeps with people to manipulate people to do what she wants them to do, and has slept with over 100 men in her whole lifetime to change into the wife that you want her to be in an instant. We're playing ourselves because we're not thinking in cycles. So let me clear this up. You must start thinking in cycles, 29.53 days. Start thinking that versus 24 hours. Start thinking that versus 1,440 minutes. Start thinking of that versus 86,000 seconds. Start thinking in 29.53 days. Start thinking in 365.2422 days. And see the difference in your thought pattern. To say, hey, I'm going to give this thing some time. People do something to you today and they want you to forgive them by tomorrow. I'm not going to forgive you by tomorrow. Don't be religiousizing me. Don't come over here spiritualizing my emotions. I'm not about to just up and forgive you because you won't stop doing what you're doing and you're still doing what you were doing. You're apologizing today and doing it tomorrow. You're manipulating me. I don't have, you took 6 years to hurt me. You've been abusing me for 22 years. And you come and apologize today, and I'm supposed to instantly accept your apology and allow you to be who you're going to be? Are you crazy? It took you 40 years to hurt me, and you apologize in one day, and I'm supposed to forgive you today, immediately, and forget what you did? That's fragmented, and it's insanity. And that's not how this thing works. This is why people will win the lottery today, but they have 30 years of poverty programming. They have 14 years of poverty program, 50 years of poverty, 50 years of broke, 50 years of check to check, day to day, 50 years of not investing, 50 years of not doing right by the money, 50 years of no mentorship, 50 years, 30 years of no millionaire in the mindset. No exercise and activity in your wherewithal for abundance and wealth. And you expect someone who won the lottery today to operate from a framework of keeping it tomorrow? It's not going to happen. Most people that get money, the first thing they've been programmed to think is to pay debt. The first thing they've been programmed to do is to give their money to someone else. The first thing they've been programmed to do is to give their money to the church, give their money to God. So you want me to not think in cycles, you want me to think in the day. And me thinking in the day is fragmented because life moves in cycles and processions. It takes 26,000 years for eras to happen. But you want me thinking today that you love me today when you hurt me yesterday, and you hurt me last month, and you hurt me 2 years ago. But today, all of a sudden, you want me to believe you? I'm going to close with this. For those of you who are ready to break the cycle, you have to start operating and thinking from cycles. You have to get to know cycles. I have a 10-year cycle of every 10 years, A, B, C, and D happen to me. That means you're going to have to sit down. You're going to have to journal. You're going to have to catalog. You're going to have to remember. Because it is your memories that are shaping your days. It is what is in your memory bank that has you operating on consistent loops. Well, why would I get with Paul? He reminds me of John. And when I would get with John, he reminds me of Derek. And Derek reminds me of Tyrone. And Tyrone reminds me of Billy. And Kevin's a little different from the rest of them, but he still reminds me of the old me. Well, you know why that happens? Is because those are cycles. And until you get out of them and break out of them, it's going to be a different person in the same version of yourself. And you're never going to break through. Or you'll get a job and stay stuck in a cycle and wonder why you're not getting promoted, or you can't promote yourself, or you got 8 businesses and none of them are making the kind of money that you really need to make so you can get off your full-time job, but you got 25 businesses, right? You got 452 businesses, but not enough to get off your job because you're fragmented in your thought process. It only takes one time to get pregnant. All of us was a sure shot. If you're listening to this, you are a sure shot. One jackpot, one play, one time hit. That's all it takes is one time. So you can break these cycles with one strategy, one thought process. One hit can end 85,000 cycles that are against you. And yes, even in your bloodline, past generation BS and madness that's inside of you. Because guess what? You're still the progenitor of yourself. People won't talk to you about self-power because you're giving your power to gods, and you're giving your power to leaders, and you're giving your powers to the peoples, and you're giving your powers to the authorities on the earth, and you're giving your powers to the authorities outside of you. And you got all these hierarchies and authority figures and authority, and this person's the expert and this person's the authority. But baby, let me tell you something. There's no greater authority than self-authority. None. Even God will show you how to become an authority in your life and how to be dominant and take dominion over certain things. Now, I remember a certain scripture that said, be fruitful and multiply and subdue the earth. Now, are you subduing? How's that working for you? How's your subduing going? Well, you're not going to do it when you're fragmented. And see, other people know this information.
I'm 5 shots in right now.